In this demo, we will see how to use data flow. There are many scenarios where you need to know how a data object is used or modified by various functions. When you are modifying existing code, or you are in a code review, or you are trying to analyze and debug a problem, you need to find out how a data object is used or modified by the various functions. Here, we see the flowchart of a function script compile. This flowchart is very helpful in understanding the whole function. Now, suppose we need to find out how the local variable scope obj is used and modified in script compile, as well as in functions called by script compile. Let us view the data flow of this local variable. Place the cursor on scope obj and click the icon Create Data Flow in the toolbar. This is the data flow of scope obj. In the data flow, the statements that use scope obj are displayed in detail, and the rest of the statements are shown as miniature symbols. In data flow, we see the declaration of scope obj. We also see that it is initialized to null. The address of scope obj is passed as an argument to JS_ValueToObject. Let us press the down arrow key to walk through the data flow. To learn more about Object-to-JS_Val, click in the left half of the symbol. We see that it casts scope obj, then it is assigned to argv. At this point, if scope obj is null, it is assigned a value. Finally, scope obj is passed as an argument in a function call. We have seen how scope obj is used in the current function. Now, we will expand the function calls where it is passed as an argument. Press the up arrow key to move upward in the data flow. Let us double-click on the function call to expand it. The expansion in the shaded area shows the data flow of scope obj in the function JS_ValueToObject. In the expansion, if you click on the start symbol, call JS_ValueToObject, it will take you to the function call in the parent function. The symbol TrackingObjP tells us that the parameter corresponding to address of scope obj is called objp in this function. Hence, the data flow is tracking objp in this function. Notice that the expansion of JS_ValueToObject is inserted just before the function call in the parent function. Click on TrackingObjP. It takes us to the function definition of JS_ValueToObject. Click in the right half of the assignment symbol. We see that scope obj is assigned a value via its address. Click on the miniature symbol. We see that the miniature symbol corresponds to the rest of the function where it sets up a value in obj. Now, suppose you wish to view the full flowchart of JS_ValueToObject and understand how it sets up the value in obj. Place the cursor anywhere in the code of JS_ValueToObject and click the Create Flowchart icon in the main toolbar. Maximize the flowchart window, and then use arrow keys to walk through the function. Now, to go back to data flow, click the icon Switch Back to Data Flow in the Flowchart Windows toolbar. Restore the size of the flowchart window. Notice that you can create the full flowchart of any function by clicking Create Flowchart in the main toolbar. Later, you can switch back to data flow by clicking Switch Back to Data Flow in the Flowchart Windows toolbar. Perform a double click on the start symbol to collapse the data flow of JS_ValueToObject. Let us scroll down and double-click to expand the second function call and scroll down a little. As before, the expansion is inserted just before the function call in the data flow of the parent function. The symbol tracking obj tells us that the parameter corresponding to scope obj is called obj in the called function. Hence, the data flow is tracking obj here. Let us double-click to expand compile token stream and scroll down just a little bit. We see that it passes obj as an argument to JS compile token stream. Let us double-click to expand JS compile token stream and scroll down a little. The symbol tracking chain tells us that the corresponding parameter is called chain. Hence, the data flow is tracking chain here. We see that chain is used for assigning a value to a member of the structure variable called frame. At this point, if you wish, you can create the full flowchart of JS compile token stream. Then you can walk through it and switch back to the data flow. We are quite deep in the nested data flows. To view the call stack, right-click in any symbol and click Function Call Stack. We see the call stack. Let us click on Script Compile in the stack. It takes us to the start of the data flow of Script Compile. In this demo, we saw how to use data flows. With data flow, you can track data across function calls even when the name of the argument is different from the name of the corresponding parameter in the called function.